Welcome to WholeCEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in mindset, weight loss, business, and more. Learn our top tips so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, feel unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. She's a professional speaker, transformational sales coach that has coached thousands of people in the business of healthy lifestyle since the year 2000, a former Ironman Triathlete. Our superpowers creating more in less time in a balanced way with over 23 years in sales, coaching, successes and failures. Her passion is to help you create your best life, best health, best wealth, and best wisdom along the sales path. Mom of three, happily married, top 20 podcaster, best-selling author of The Fearless Entrepreneur. She loves to travel and pivoted like many of us did in 2020 without having an email list or podcast or tribe online. Her superpowers are to help you transform your sales, having gone from 0 sales online to 5 figures a month in less than 6 months. Her lead generation and 6 months to live their best life. She's able to reach multiple 5 figures a month in 9 months of starting at ground zero online with her 4-step proven system. I would love to welcome to the podcast Lois Koffi.
Hey, Lisa, thank you so much. Such an honor to actually finally meet you, I think. I don't even think we've met before officially.
Well, I knew you were a sales ninja because you were just hitting me up on LinkedIn, sending me DMs. I hope I didn't mangle your bio too much. But Lois Koffi, I want to ask you some questions because you are a ninja at sales. So let's just jump in with how can we escape the hustle and attract dream clients and swell our business with leads?
Yes. Well, gosh, do we have 5 hours? No, I'm just kidding. I love sales. So I've been in sales for 23 years and I've sold in 4 different verticals. And I also share that I grew up on a farm. So I understood about farming. And one of my first mentors in sales at 21 years of age, I got into real estate sales. I actually didn't plan for it. I like to joke that sales found me. The first thing I did was hire a coach because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had a mentor who modeled the income producing activities, the passion, the commitment that a salesperson has got to have to make it. And so I just did what they told me, which was consistent daily lead generation, live your truth and share your passion, and anything is possible. So that's what I did. And working part-time, I made 6 figures in my first year in sales, and I was like, oh my God, this sales thing is really cool. So I quit my desk job, working nights and weekends at a newspaper. And as they say, the rest is history. So I over the 23 years, amassed my own 4-step formula. So I can break that down really quickly, but it's probably not too surprising. A lot of people have heard this before, but we can go deeper. Step number 1 was having that sales champion mindset to really believe in yourself, manifest, magnetize sales, because it's really you are your number 1 lead magnet.
Right.
People are buying you. So if you're not coming to see, having been an Ironman triathlete, I understand commitment, discipline, and passion and belief in yourself. So step number 1 is simply that, but it's actually the biggest one. We can come back to that. Yeah. Step number 2 is maximizing your time. So there's no such thing as time management. It's choice management. And so I help a lot of my clients make better choices, more of a less is more approach. A lot of people in sales, they overcommit. They're doing all the shiny object things. They're doing all of the landing pages, and they're not delegating, they're not outsourcing, and that's not their passion, right? It's not their purpose. So they're overwhelmed. So they're taxed and exhausted. So I help them clean that up and help them choose wisely. And then step number 3 is, what is your lead generation strategy, where you go out and you're going farming, you're going fishing for those leads, you bring them back in. And then step number 4 is the fortunes and the follow-up. So if you develop that system and you just tweak it, refine it, rinse and repeat, and you go out there every day and do that, it's not that hard. But a lot of salespeople and a lot of sales careers have been stopped short, or they're held to a certain lid on their income because they aren't consistent in those 4 areas. And that's what I help my clients create.
Well, I knew when you were following up on me that you were really good at that. So it's the mindset, it's managing your time, it's lead gen system and following up. I like your 4-step system. And I want to ask, because you touched lightly on purpose, just to dive a little deeper into purpose and how can we live our true nature and purpose?
Oh, I love that you said it that way too, because what I discovered, especially during the pandemic, right? A lot of people were getting caught up in, do I build an email list? Do I do a podcast? Do I do webinars? Do I do this? Do I do that? And they got lost in the doing.
Right, the
And
hustle.
yeah, and so I remember Zig Ziglar. You probably remember Zig, right? He always
Yeah,
said, "You're a human being, not a human doing." And
correct.
so even I got caught up in that
Oh, me
myself.
too. I've been there, burned
And
out.
so I actually read a book. I don't have it right by me right now, but it's called "You're Not Broken" by Christopher Michael Duncan. And I now bring that into my coaching because a lot of people, they wear a mask. They think they have to be like that other coach they saw on Facebook, or they think they have to be like that other podcaster that they follow. And then they lose their passion because they're trying to be someone they're not. And
Right.
and that's where also imposter syndrome comes in. So that's part of my step 1 is helping people. I take them through guided visualizations to reconnecting to their heart space, get out of their head. Again, I said earlier, sales is about your belief and passion. And I believe personally, your belief and passion starts in your heart brain, which is the biggest brain you have in your body, and getting out of that analytical, logical mind. Even though we need it, it's important for our day to
Right.
day. It's still really important to connect with that. So I teach my clients to meditate and focusing on their true nature and purpose, balancing out what their beingness is, that creative, that intuitive, that side of themselves that's considered the feminine part of the brain, the feminine energy, along with the daily lead generation tactics with the numbers, the tracking. You got to track your numbers so you know how to grow them and change them. And if it's not working, you got to change your strategy. So it's really about balancing those 2 things. And I find a lot of people tend to stuff down the intuition, stuff down the creative, stuff down that feminine side, that beingness side, that heart space, and get stuck in the doing. And so I help clients through guided visualizations and meditations and some other tools to help them really deepen and own their greatness through the balance of the doingness and the beingness. And that's what I did to come back to center, because I started becoming a workaholic during the
Yeah,
pandemic.
I've been there.
And actually started ruining my marriage. I wasn't present for my kids, and I was like, whoa, 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 something's got to give. And so by coming back to center, it helped me flourish in all areas of my life. So that's the key, is going inward, dropping into
Right.
that heart space, and
I
getting
love
back
that.
into the
I love
creative
that
side.
for a business person who's like successful sales coach, that you have that heart space and passion and have that balance. Because don't we spend 90% of our day in our analytical mind rather than in our heart?
Yeah, I don't even know what the stat is. It's just way too much.
Way too much. Yeah. So I love that balance. And what I'm really fascinated about is this whole magnetic mind and how can we manifest and monetize our passion?
Yeah, and it goes back to, and I do recommend you guys read the book, You're Not Broken, because Chris Duncan is the one who he created the magnetic mind certification that I studied. And there's a lot of depth to it, because a lot of us have those limiting beliefs, those self-sabotaging limiting beliefs, and it's very common in sales, right? So the key ones are: I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I
Right.
am not significant, or I need to be perfect, I'm not capable, or I'm alone, I'm weird, I'm different, I'm an
Yeah.
outcast. So those are hiding latent inside of your subconscious mind. And if you're selling from any one of those places, A, you could limit your income. B, you could attract crazy clients or the wrong clients for you. Also, same thing with business partners and things like that. So inside of I call it superconscious creation, because we have that subconscious mind that creates 95% of our results. And a lot of times, if there's those limiting beliefs or wounds from childhood, if you've had divorce, if you've had a business failure, I had that in the Great Recession, and it was so traumatic that I started selling from a not enough scarcity
Yeah.
place.
That's
That's the
easy
most
to
common.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. So by going inward, and focusing on shining a light on those negative beliefs, but doing it with love and compassion, that's how I've had clients have major breakthroughs, increased sales, improved health, improved marriages, and just improved life overall. Because your body, you are your lead magnet. I said that earlier, right?
Wow, I love that.
So if you recognize that those wounds are there, and instead of stuffing them down and ignoring them, which is what society oftentimes, who wants to admit their weaknesses or failures, right? But
Yeah.
if you don't, what you resist persists, and you'll keep attracting the same types of clients, types of people, types of relationships that won't be fulfilling. So by shining light on them with love and compassion, and I take people through guided visualizations to do that. I've had clients who, just by healing their father wound, like if they had a really tough relationship with their dad and they believed they weren't enough or they weren't capable, those are the two most popular ones, it seems like, with the dad wound.
Yeah.
Then guess what? They're going to keep selling from that place, and they're going to keep hitting a lid on their income, or they're going to keep having clients that represent, like they're a mirror, like they're like, why does this person remind me of my dad, right? And then they're not happy, they're not satisfied. So it's a little Oprah, little deep, but it's really what has helped me and has helped me transform, that experience for clients, to then now they're selling from a loving space, a more than enough space, a more than capable space. And then the leads just show up. I've had people have phone calls and clients come in that were high ticket that they've never had before. And it was just simply by coming from that super conscious, that heart space. And then you become a magnet for a higher vibrational energy, which is usually, it shows up as clients that are really excited to work with you, or clients who are like, how much? I'm ready to sign, and here's the money. I don't care, because that negative energy, that limiting belief is I don't know if healed is the right word, because that's kind of a big word, but it's loved and nurtured and accepted, seen and heard, and then you can live a much freer, higher energetic life.
I love that you lead business with getting rid of and shattering and healing and feeling our limiting beliefs. And you have both sides of you in business. And I launched this podcast also, like you did in 2020, launch your podcast to help people. We're both hitting that 200 number, I think, about helping people become unstoppable, whether it's in business, in their health, in their wealth and weight loss, also fitness. So in success, how do you have any final words of wisdom that you want to drop on our audience about how we can be unstoppable in sales?
Well, my favorite quote, I borrowed and adopted it and made it my own, because I think it's really important for people to understand that you are going to be rejected in sales. You are going to be disappointed. You are going to hear way more no's than you hear yeses. It's how you choose to respond to those no's. And again, that's why we talked about healing the wounds. But even that aside, if you have an expectation, this quote that I borrowed from Jim Rohn, I then personalized it and made it my own. So I want to give credit where credit's due. But he said, discipline your disappointments. So you
Right.
develop a discipline discipline to discipline your disappointments, sorry. And then I add the phrase never give up, which goes along with your unstoppable, because if you know you're here for a purpose, and most of our careers are an extension of our purpose, right? And you have the passion, and you understand that there are going to be disappointments, but you have such a deep belief in yourself that you never give up. That's been the key to my failures, and the key to my successes. And I share that quote because I think sometimes people think they get into sales and it's supposed to be easy, or they hear the no's and then they assume, well, maybe I'm not cut out for sales, or I hear the phrase, I'm just not a salesperson, Lois, and all of that. And I always tell people, everything is sales. If you're married, you had to convince, or however that went down, right? If you have relationships, you have friends, you go to the coffee shop, everything is sales. So to be able to understand that as well is part of why I call myself a transformational sales coach, because as you transform yourself and as you pursue your sales, which is serving, and your calling, you're going to transform yourself in so many lives that come your way as a result of your passion and never giving up.
Well, thanks, Lois Koffi. I love ending on that wonderful, empowering note of discipline your disappointments. Everything is sales, and never give up, which I love. Also, dream big. So where can people find more of your good stuff?
Yeah, so my favorite place to play is where you and I met, LinkedIn. Go find me, Lois Koffi, on LinkedIn. And also my podcast is Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. I do have a Facebook group for that, but you can just go find me, loiskoffi.com/podcast. Subscribe there, check out my podcast, and those are great ways to tap into my community as well.
Well, thank you for being a wonderful guest.
Thanks for coming to WholeCEO with Lisa G. After over 20 years helping people lose weight and get fit, I'm so excited to announce that I found the missing link with my coaching. Message me if you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and go faster with a master. Lisa G at lisagfit.com.